Hello everybody, I'm Mary Catherine and this is My Own Little House. Now I am sitting in a new chair. I'm so excited. This was my Christmas gift from Adam this year, was a brand new chair. It rolls around, isn't that great? I can roll from my desk to my spinning wheel to my sewing machine. It's really wonderful. So, and I'll be so much more comfortable. I was actually not spinning and not doing a lot of things in here because my other chair, which was a dining room chair, was uncomfortable and hurt my back. So, enough of that. I want to show you another fun little craft. Now, I haven't made this yet. I have one. Look at that. Isn't that cute? I've had this since I was a little girl. I think we must have bought it at some kind of a Christmas bazaar or something like that. I really don't know, but I've had it since I was elementary school, middle school. Anyway, it's a bookmark. Look at that. It opens up and you clip it onto the page where you are. I always put the little decorative part on the page where I am, and this goes on some other page. I haven't used this in a long time. I used to use it all the time as a bookmark, and then I was worried that I was going to ruin it and it would die because it is kind of delicate. So I put it in this little jewelry box on my vanity, and I found it the other day when I was looking through some of those old jewelry boxes, and I just love it. And I thought, I bet I could make these. And if I put propped up a book at the farmer's market and they were on the open book on the pages, maybe people would buy them. So that's what I'm doing right now. And wonderfully, I realized I had all the things that I needed. I have a selection of flat felt, just, store-bought felt. I actually already had some alligator clips, okay? And they're just the right length too. Isn't that great? And I know I have lots of embroidery floss to do the embroidery, simple embroidery. Hope I know how to do that. We'll see if I can make that work. But I gave it was all in a book, in, these little wonderful plastic pages, all labeled on little cards. And I gave it to Adam, and I went over to his sewing shack and I couldn't find it. So when I went to the thrift store this morning, I just got a little pack of, they sell this kind of stuff. This was 50 cents for all that floss. And there's a nice red in there. I think I'll start with it. So I have taken my little original and I have done a little tracing of it because I want it to be about that size. That's a good size. And it's just so cute. They're so little and cute. But if they're small enough, that would work on any book, large or small. If you had one that was too big, it might be kind of too heavy. So I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to start, I need 4 little mittens because it's double-sided on both of them. And I'm going to cut a yellow one first and see how that goes. I'm wondering if I should sew around the edges before I do that blanket stitch. I don't know. It didn't look like they did. Boy, I don't know if I can do this, but we will see. I'll be right back. Okay, so I cut out my little template, and now I've traced out 4 little mittens on my yellow. I'm going to cut those out very carefully and start stitching them together. Okie dokie. This is what I have so far. Now I'm using I threaded my needle with the full 6 strands that you get on an embroidery thread. Wanted it nice and thick. I did leave just the straight tail on the back because I knew I'd be able to work it in and it won't show. I know you can double over 3 strands and not have as much in the back, but it doesn't matter on this one because it's going to be all hidden because there's 2 layers of felt. So what I did was I did a loop from this spot, and then I went back and put that little cap on the top. And then I did this one and this one, and then I did this one and this one. Now, this is not my jam, folks. This is not anything I normally do, but I figured, how hard can it be? This is kind of a trial run. And then I came and did just three little lines on the side for a bud. Now, if you look at the original, this person was clearly more skilled. That bud on that side is much larger. I do need to go back and do centers, the little yellow or whatever color I choose. I think that the green will be pretty easy to do. Then I have to come up with a top. I've never really liked the lace much on this. It seems much more tired looking now. It hasn't held up as well as this, although it is staying on. I'm not sure what I'm going to put on the top. It might be some lace. Kind of don't know what else I would put on there. But we'll see. Right now I'm just worried about this part. And then I have to do that blanket stitch around the outside. I think that it has other names too, but that's what I've always called it. All right, I'm putting together my first little mitten. I won't sew at the top because I don't know what I'm going to do at the top yet, but I'll just do the blanket stitch all the way around. Man, I haven't done a blanket stitch like that since I was in college, so we'll have to see how that goes. Boy, so far, so good. Ah, yeah, I'm kind of pleased with that. It's not focusing very well, is it? There we go. Well, not great. Yes, this is working well. Let me give you a little bit of a close-up of how I'm doing this little stitch. Okay, I hope you'll be able to see this. I'm trying to keep my eyeball on the camera and on my needle. Okay, so I'm coming in from behind. You have to keep an eye on your two fabrics to make sure they stay pretty well aligned. And you want to give a little bit of distance. Man, what is that, 1/8 of an inch? Because when you cinch it tight, it's going to pull it. So you need to make sure you're not too close to the edge. And then I'm going to go back through the loop from the front, pull it tight, and then give it a good tug and kind of lean it that way. You really want the running stitch to lie on the edge of your little mitten. So that, and one thing I noticed on the original is that there is a stitch right there, no matter how close you are to that little indentation between the thumb and the fingers of the mitten, you need to give one stitch right there in that little crease or whatever you want to call it, because that'll give it kind of a nice demarcation. Okay, yeah, this is, it's a little, sometimes, occasionally a little hard to poke through the fabric, but not too bad. This is turning out better than I had hoped. It is a little time consuming. I'll probably just make a few of these and see if anybody's interested in them. If they're not, I can always give them away at Christmas. They'd make really cute little stocking stuffers, especially if you know somebody, obviously, who loves to read, especially if they have several books going at a time. This is really just a perfect little bookmark. What I like is that it doesn't fall out of your book. I have wonderful, cute little bookmarks that I have painted, but, they do tend to fall out. Yes. Ah, I'm so tickled. And this is the yellow one, which was my least favorite color. I can't wait to do one like on the blue and do a Christmas one on the red. Plus, this is, this is a small-sized project that's real easy to do when you're watching TV or when you're in the car. We're going to be doing a little traveling during the holidays. Oh, these stitches over here are much better than these early ones, I'm very glad to say. Just kind of give it a nice little tug, not too hard. You don't want to pull so hard that you would damage this felt fabric because it's not, the sturdiest of fabrics. Wow. Okay, I'm going to do this, and I'll blanket stitch these two together, and I'll show you when I'm ready to come back. As I look at my original, I see that the original seamstress has stitched with thread this lace to the top, and that's why it really has stayed on for 50 years. So here's mine so far. Isn't this great? I do love the colors. A nice contrast in color is wonderful. So I'm going to find myself either some ribbon or some lace or something like that. And I wonder if I could crochet something around the top. That would be fun. Well, we'll see. But obviously it needs to be stitched to the fabric so that it will stay in place. Don't you love it when something works that you weren't sure it was going to? Well, it appears I'm done with this one. I did choose some ribbon. Looks like that. And I thought the pink and green would go well with the little embroidered motif there. And so I put it on there. Mostly you want it to cover up the clasp, but not so much that you can't grab it. With this one, I think, boy, yeah, I almost feel like the clasp is too far in there. I can pinch it, but this one is easier to get. Yeah, I think I like that. I'm not sure if I'll continue to use ribbon, but it looks like a little skirt, doesn't it? Okay, so here is my mitten bookmark. I don't know what to even call this. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and maybe you'll try it yourself if you have some of these things sitting around in your craft stash. This would make a wonderful gift, wouldn't it? Or you could give it with the gift of a book. I think that would be sweet. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.